tonight like you should, right? You should try to be getting in that habit of getting your homework done the night it's assigned. It will be worth candy tomorrow. The other reason is I won't see you on Wednesday, which is when it would actually be due. So since I won't see you on Wednesday, I either had to choose get it Tuesday from you or get it Thursday from you. And Thursday's our last day of the week. Reminder, Thursday is a Friday schedule. So we're going with tomorrow. Now, if you don't have it tomorrow, obviously you can turn it in Wednesday. You can turn it in Thursday. But you're not going to get that extra reward because that's the point of PBIS is trying to encourage those behaviors that we should have by giving you a little bit extra, even if in the world, if you do what you're supposed to, you don't normally get anything extra. You just get what you get. But we'll try to make those behaviors start happening. So we want to spend as much homework time in class as possible. So I want to know if anyone would like to read for us. I don't think this is on your paper. We're going to read this sentence here. Go ahead.
Hello, describing relationships between quantities. You may not know it, but to use mathematical thinking you use mathematical thinking every day. You think mathematically when you figure out whether you can afford items you want to buy or when you read a graph on a website. You also think mathematically when you double a recipe or when you estimate how much longer it will take to get somewhere based on how far you still have to go. Math can describe many of the relationships in the world around you.
All right, so we took a little trip this weekend. We had our math counts competition. We went down to Columbus State. On the way, somebody asked, "Are we there yet?" And that's a pretty comic one. So if somebody said we're halfway there, you probably in your head could make a model of okay, if we were here, we're trying to get there, put yourself halfway there. You're in the middle. Right, we're halfway there. So that's what we're talking about. Verbal explanations of math relationships. So if you are sneakily trying to do your homework, you're not very sneaky, come back with me because this is on your paper. I'm going to expect it to be done, which means if you're looking at the back of your paper, you're going to need to flip it back over. I know, I'm looking at major. There we go. So let's read about Myra and Dahlia. Anyone want to read our situation 1? Jackson, you want to read situation 1 for us?
Myra has 15 marbles and is 10 less than
Careful. When a period happens, what do we normally do? Pause, breathe maybe. So try again.
Myra has 15 marbles.
Now let's take an actual physical pause there before we move on to second sentence. If I asked you to write out mathematically, right, not with words, Myra has 15 marbles. I should probably start using some random cards. What might you use instead of writing out Myra's whole name? Reese, what do you think? What might we use? M! Because that's a variable that makes sense. So on your paper, let's write down M for Myra. Now I went too far already. Because I got autopilot. You gonna do this with us? Get a pencil. We do math in pencil. I ordered new pencils for you guys to have pencils. This is a perfect time to stop and make this reminder. These exist in every bin now. They have an H on them because they're mine. If your pencil doesn't have an eraser, you use this.
Yes, sir.
If you don't like the eraser on those pencils, because they're meh, these are nice erasers. I spent class budget to get us new supplies. So every bin should have at least one eraser in it and all the highlighters that you're normally used to. Cool? So you need, this is why we do math in pencil. If somebody tells you Myra has, oh, and what's the math? What is that? Myra has, what could we write to represent that mathematically? Does that mean like add, subtract, like greater than, equal to, more than, less than? Myra has. Gonna throw it to somebody else? Like in math, if we're trying to put a symbol in for has. I'm trying to throw it to someone, or you want me to say? Jackson?
Equal.
Because that's going to be our equal statement, right? It tells us Myra has. That's going to be our equal statement. And then what would we put for 15? 15. Now, we're not going to put M on there because we already used M. If you're going to put anything, you're going to write the whole word marbles. But we don't have to right now because this is like working numbers. When we get to the answers, we need to write down like, labels with our answers. I would draw a line between situation 1 and situation 2. They're different. So like on my paper, I even coded like, hey, these are 2 different situations. Sorry, on a Monday, all this stuff takes time to load. But then, okay, the second sentence, right, for this situation, I want you to try to read that and like see what you think. Don't write anything down yet, but take a moment, think about that. Read it in your head. We'll come back together in a minute. Take like 20 seconds to think about that. Major, you want to read that for us, that second sentence? No, sorry. Second sentence, not second situation. Second sentence over here. So what this are they talking about? What do they mean by this? Major, do you know? The 15! The this they're referencing is the 15. So we can write down that 15. Okay, but then they say is. This is, okay, this is the 15. And guys, you can even like write a 15 above the this if you want. What about the is though? What are we going to put for is? Elias, what are you thinking? This is, what would we put for is if we're writing it down Matthew? Clayton? Not just a line.
A line.
Elijah? This is, so we said that this is 15. Is, how could we represent the is? Yeah, that's our equals to, guys. Here's the trap door. 10 less than Dahlia. We do not write 10 next. And I got some people that are halfway paying attention. You're going to do this wrong on your homework, and then you're going to miss it on the test, and you're going to be mad about it. I'm going to refer back to this question. If I tell you I have 10 less Hot Wheels than my nephew, and my nephew has 30, how many Hot Wheels do I have? 20. Because I need to take my nephew's amount and take 10 away from that. This statement is a trap door. 10 is not the next thing we write down. Anyone want to take a stab at what the next thing we will write? Well, hold on. Just based off this sentence, Josh, you got thoughts? I mean, we're gonna kind of involve like a negative 10. Lakin, thoughts? So guys, with my Hot Wheels situation, you took my nephew's amount of Hot Wheels and subtracted 10. What are we 10 less than here, Reese? We already have 15 over there. That's the this is. Guys, what we're struggling to figure out right now, how do I write 10 less than Dahlia? What could I write for Dahlia?
25.
Slow down. I'm not asking you what Dahlia is. How could we write Dahlia? D. How can we write 10 less than Dahlia? I need to take 10 away from what Dahlia has. So now you guys could like figure out if 15 Is Dahlia's amount minus 10? What did Dahlia's amount have to be so that when we take 10 away, it turns into 15? 25, Jimmy says. So, be careful though. Situation 2 is different. I want you guys to see if you can figure out situation 2. Okay, you take these sentences, write them in their math form, figure out whatever we don't know for situation 2. It's different. It's not the same situation. Okay, try that with your partner or on your own if you don't want to work with your partner. It might start the same. It might start the same, but it's different. I'll be your partner. So how can we write down sentence 1? Okay. How can we write down Dahlia has 10 less than Myra? Oh, so that's like the answer, but how do we write it down in math? Let's use different colors. Alright, I need to shuffle because I feel like my cards got all screwed up and a couple of you guys have been called and then other people got lost. Alright, Caroline, how could I write out Myra has 15 marbles? Yeah, it feels like we're starting the same over here. That doesn't mean it is the same. We're just starting the same. Clayton, how could we write Dahlia has? That's all I want to know first. How could we write Dahlia has? Yes, pause. Like, guys, we want to break this up. Take it slow. Dahlia has, it's going to be D equals. Then how can we write Elijah 10 less than Myra? But how do we write? That's the answer. But how do we write what we're doing? You want to throw out to Jimmy? He's like trying to answer like right beside you here. Jimmy? So we can either just put in Myra's amount of marbles, or we could put in M for Myra minus 10 because we need to take 10 away from what Myra has. So wait, how many marbles does Dahlia have over here?
5.
Yeah, now Dahlia only has 5 marbles. You see how close those two different situations sound when you say them? This is 10 less than Dahlia. Dahlia has 10 less than Myra. They're very close to each other. You gotta be careful with like how it's phrased. Slow down. Take it a chunk at a time. Right? Dahlia has D equals 10 less. That doesn't mean write 10. 10 less than what? Right? We gotta figure out what we're 10 less than. You got this written down? All right. So I want you guys to check out the next situation, the verbal. So ignore the pictures for a minute. You're moving on down to right here, 94. Try that with your partner. See what you can figure out about that. Could you write it in its mathy form? Essentially is what I want to know. Can you write it in your math? Feel free to highlight whatever you want. Underline whatever you want. Give variables to things. Only use single variables. You might be tempted for longboard to go L, just go L. Just L. Do not use more letters when less can do it. All right, so what do we read here? We're distracting classmates by names. You want to highlight anything? want you guys to try to write down everything it tells you. Can you write out everything this tells you? I do not need you to figure out anything. I just need you to write what they tell us. Then we can figure it out. Can you read this sentence more? What was the first four words? One more word. How could we write out long board is? It's an L. Just use a single word. L. Right, long board is. Then we're going to keep going. I don't know why we were looking at the back, but we got nothing written on this problem. Major. If we go by the color coding, just what I have in yellow, which you could color code your paper to, one longboard is. How could you write that? Just L equals, right? Longboard is L equals. And that's all, for what I put in yellow, that's all that it is. A longboard is. Guys, if you use LB, it's going to look like pounds, actually, because LB is the abbreviation for pounds. Also, we don't normally use two letters together unless it's for a label. So we just got to get in the habit of, like, yes, longboard, you might be thinking LB. Just L. Just long, right? So then, Jackson, 7 inches longer than is 7 the next thing I'm going to write? Why? What are we 7 inches longer than? Well, okay, I guess I can ask, like, how are we going to be longer than something? How are we going to write being longer than? Like add, subtract, multiply, divide? We're gonna add 7. But to what? Caroline, to what? What are we gonna add 7 to? Of what? Guys, if you need to underline or highlight something up here, 3 short. Well, how do we write 3 short? 3 times S! Yeah, 3 short. Please make sure your S looks like S and not 5. That's the common issue with 7th graders. 3S plus 7. One longboard is 7 inches longer than the total of 3 short boards. Any questions on why we wrote what we wrote? Now, could we have written 7 plus 3S? Yeah, because with addition, it doesn't really matter. Subtraction is where you really got to be careful. Subtraction is where you really got to be careful. So what if I tell you guys? What if I tell you guys? The longboard's 50. What if I tell you that the longboard's 50? What could we then do? Josh, got any thoughts of like how we could change what we had written based on now? This was not on your paper, right? It was only up here. Now we know the longboard's 50.
So we could do like 50 equals 3s plus 7.
Yeah, guys, this is telling us, okay, instead of having to use L, my L is 50. So let's rewrite this. Don't erase anything. Let's rewrite this. 50 equals the 3 short boards. And guys, there is multiplication. You don't have to show the multiplication dot, but it's there. Jimmy? If you're about to say the shortboard is, you're ahead of us. If you're about to tell me an answer, you're ahead of us.
I would say all the short boards would be 43 inches, and then you have 7 inches.
So wait,
Because long
hold on. Everyone have this written down. Because now I need you to listen to Jimmy. Jimmy, run it back. Say that again.
The 3 long boards will be
You did it. 3 what?
The 3 short boards
3 short
will
boards.
be 43 inches long.
How did you figure that out?
Well, I took 15 minus 7.
Jimmy's saying this 3 short boards have to be 43 because something, this thing, plus 7
Equal 50.
has to be 50. So Jimmy said what he did, and what would be a really good idea to write on your paper, is if I get rid of that 7, I can figure out the 3 short boards are how long did you say?
43.
And guys, some of you guys saw you drawing pictures, and there's one of the next ones we're going to do has pictures to go with it. But if you drew out 3 shorts plus 7 equals the long, chop off the 7. Okay, so actually, let's take a moment. I can't make you do this, but I think it'd be a great idea. Because Jimmy said this is like what he visualized, like shortboard, shortboard, shortboard.
I just added inches.
Yeah, it's like short plus 7 equaled the long. But then we said that actually is 50. So on your next mastery, there's going to be a problem exactly like this. If you choose to not do this now and you get that wrong, I'm going to refer right back to this. It's up to you. Jimmy said, let's take off this 7. So minus 7. So now, what is 50 minus 7? 43. Now that's still how many of those shortboards?
3.
3 of them. How could I get from 3 shortboards to a single shortboard? How do I undo? What's the opposite of multiplication? Division. So what do you guys think we need to do?
Divide.
What by what?
45. Divide by 3.
Divide what by 3?
Divide 43. 43 divided by 3, you get 14.3333.
So Jimmy's saying take this length we have now, it's 3 shortboards. Cut it into thirds by doing division by 3. What is 43 divided by 3?
14.
I think it's something awkward.
14.333.
Yeah, so our shortboards we could figure out are 14 point, you said it's 3 repeating
Yeah.
inches. That's not where I meant to put the squiggle because the 3 keeps going on. Questions on that one? I'm going to give you another one to try on here. All right, so try this. I got the picture for you. In A, can anyone try to say what A is showing us if we think about it as short boards and long boards? Can anyone try to say what A is telling us? Elijah? Where do you see 15? Let's take this a chunk at a time. Oh, and what could I call these? Sure, we can call these shorts. Throw S's on top of those on your paper. What, Elias, could I call these? Longboards, right? How many of those longboards do I have? 2. So 2. If I'm talking about longboards, S or L. 2L. I guess I'll put it up here. 2L, they're equal, right? They look equal. What 2L is what? Clayton, what are you thinking? 2L is equal to turn to your neighbor. Try to complete this. 2L is equal to what? What do we see on top? 2L is equal to what? A pair of the same length. You can't trust just what it looks like. Right? I'm trying to get you guys to finish that sentence. So 2 longboards is equal to what length? Look, 2 longboards is equal to what? What do we think? So 2 longboards, what do we say from the top? What is on top? They're equal to the bottom. How many shortboards? And then what else? So get that on your paper somewhere, right? Get that on your paper. And Jimmy, I just realized what glitch has happened. Your card was over here when you were sick, and I took you out of the deck, and your card needs to go back in the deck. Yeah. So I'm about to call on you again. So Jimmy, help me through this. 2L, we got it from the bottom. From the top, do you need to go take a walk? Because you are doing a lot of classroom not appropriate sort of things, and I've been patient. I've tried to throw some glances. Quit fake yelling and quit making noises. Understand? We have 10 minutes left. Act like a 7th grade student. What is on top, Jimmy? Let's start with the boards. Two smalls. So 2 of the short boards. Remember, that's S, not 5. What else is on top? So I'm going to do 2S times 10. This is multiplication here. Plus 10. Yeah, it says that if they appear to be equal, they are equal. So 2 long boards, we see, is equal to 2 shorts and 10 extra. We're going to skip part B. What does C tell you? Same number of cookies. I want you to take a minute to 90 seconds. I promise you, we can figure out how many cookies are in each box. That is our challenge right now. If we know that there's the same number of cookies, so this rectangle equals this rectangle, what could we use to represent box of cookies? B, right? So our box of cookies. So we could call these B's. We could also call this B. We know that each of those are equal to each other. See if you can figure out how many cookies are in each box. How do we write out what we have on the left? How do we write out what we have on the right? How many boxes? How many extras? How many boxes and how many extras? On the left, right? How many boxes? On the left. And then how many extras? Hey, by the way, because your picture, I realize, is a little tough to see. There are 2 cookies here. There are 2 cookies there. And how many in each of these stacks? There's 5 in each of these stacks. So because your picture is a little hard to see, there's 2 over there, 5 in every stack over there. So how can we write out what we have? I can't quite read your handwriting, so I'm just trying to figure this out. How many boxes do we have? And then how many extras? 3 boxes, right? Those are separate than the individual cookies. And then same thing with over here. We're going to figure out how to write that out using like B for box. So we think, so over here, how many boxes? And how many extra cookies? Here there's only 2, right? So you might want to write a 2 there if you need to. So how do we write that out in the mathy way? Elijah, how can I write out that I have 3 boxes? How can I write out that I have 3 boxes? 3B. Right, we could write, keep leaving my pens over here. Hey, you do not need to write this down. Could we say B plus B plus B?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it feels quicker to say 3B. Liam's not here. Liam, get healthy, come back. Reese, how do we write about those extra cookies we have over there? Plus 2, right? So 3B plus 2. They told us these are equal. Lakin, what about the right rectangle? How could we write what's over there?
Yeah, so there's 5 cookies in each stack. There's 1 box of cookies. So,
So like together, how many was this? That was 20, right? So how can we write like all of this together? 20 plus B or B. How many B?
1.
Guys, you don't have to put it, but it might be really helpful if you do put the 1 in front of the B. Hi, you're invited to do this with us. In case you need invited to come along. Some of you guys seem like you need me to like deliver an invitation some days. Like, we're having a math party. You're invited. RSVP.
I'm walking around.
Okay, so they're equal. So, guys, think about science. Have you guys used actual balance scales in science, or do you just use like a mass scale? Okay, so think back in like your history of science. We're balanced, right? What could I take off of one side that I could also take off of the other side to keep things fair? What could I take off of? Because I want to keep it balanced. Clayton? Equal amount of what? So tell me here, how can I take off equal amount of weight?
so you could take off
Hey
like.
Jackson, Clayton's talking, and like normally we like look and listen. Guys, I need y'all like Jimmy, same to you. When somebody's talking to the class, we like give them our respect by turning that direction. Sorry, so what, Clayton? What do you want to take off? You can choose like whatever you want as long as we do the same on both sides. Do we have 5 cookies on both sides? How many could I take off both sides? It's not a guess. Look at what we have. How many cookies can I take off the left?
You could take off 2.
Guys, let's get rid of these extra cookies. So if I want to get rid of those, Clayton just said take 2 off of here. You should probably write down what we're doing, because when you have this on your homework and you come back to find this again, we're not eating right now. Put it away or put it in the trash can. Those are your 2 options. What's in your mouth? Spit it out. Right now, I'm waiting for you. I've made this really clear. If it gets in the way of what we're doing for class, you lose it. So we're going to take 2 cookies off of each side. So it's a little hard to show it over here. But like, how many cookies am I going to be left with over here when I take away those 2? 18. So I still have my 3 boxes. I have 1 box and 18 extra. Man, I wish I just had like boxes and cookies, like boxes on one side, cookies on the other side, right? Clayton said we can take off whatever we want as long as it's equal weights. Or in math, just like equal like what we wrote. Major, you got thoughts on something else we could take off of both sides here? A box, right? Let's get rid of a box. So up here, if you cross out, but down here we're going to say take away 1 box, take away 1 box. Okay, so if I took 1 box away from the left side, how many boxes do I have? 2 boxes left. How many boxes do I have left on the right side? No boxes. How many cookies? So how many cookies are there in each box? How did you figure out 9?
Since there's 2 boxes, I divided it by 2 so I could figure out how much is in 1 box. So 18 divided by 2 equals 9.
Josh says if we had 2 boxes, we could divide by 2 and figure out that A box, B by itself, and this is why I'm mad at the Girl Scouts. They keep lowering the amount of cookies in the box.
I went to a soccer game. There's a bunch of girls out there like, do you want a cookie?
Dude, the tag-alongs, there's only like 15 in that whole box. Now, Thin Mints, you get more cookies, but obviously they're not as good. The tag-alongs have the peanut butter, right?
Thin Mints are better.
All right,
Frozen.
that's all the time we have. When's this homework due?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. If you have it done tomorrow, you get a piece of candy just for doing what you're supposed to do.
Finish are only good when they're cold.
Have a great day, guys.
I've never even eaten like a Cub Scout.
Well, Cub Scouts don't sell cookies. They sell popcorn. Girl Scouts sell cookies.